Hello, welcome back to my Minecraft tutorial series. So in the last episode we worked on getting lava from the nether and made a few improvements to our crafting system. In this episode I'd like to improve the speed of our auto crafting. You've seen that our machines are a bit slow right now. They're the bottleneck in our system. So we've got enough power that we could send more across the lines and we could make them run faster if we had more overclockers. And we could build overclockers by hand, but we can build a machine from thermal expansion which will help us with the auto crafting. And so the overclockers require these 10K coolant cells, which require a water source. So we need some kind of water source to make that. So I either have to run back and forth and get lots of buckets, or we have to find some way of auto crafting with water. And we're going to do that with a cyclic assembler from thermal expansion. The cyclic assembler is basically a simpler kind of auto crafting system, but it only has room for one kind of pattern. But it's very helpful in that it can craft with liquids. So it can craft with, milk or lava or water or, any kind of fluid basically. So let's see what we're missing. So we don't seem to have 10 gears. We've got a chest. So let's get 10 gears. Sorry, we need a chest, 10 gears, copper, a redstone reception coil, and a machine frame. Pretty basic, we've seen it all before mostly. So, machine frame, we'll get one of those. And you can see that clear glass can be used in place of regular glass in some of these recipes. So, if you shift click into your crafting interface on your ME system, it might pick your clear glass instead of your regular glass. Depends on if you care about that or not. So, I don't care right now, so. Alright, redstone reception coil. Now I think we can make it. Okay, we can. So there's our cyclic assembler. Now, a cyclic assembler requires a schematic. A schematic is basically the pattern we're going to use to make the item. So a schematic is just 2 pieces of paper, some blue dye, and some lapis. Lapis is... I think I've made my use of lapis, but I think I've got some blue dye from... So why don't we use that instead? Okay. I need some more fluid ducts to connect this, so I'm going to take the fluid ducts. It's going to go downstairs somewhere. It needs power, and it's going to need water. And looks like all my pipes are running lava now, so... Okay, I'm going to figure out where to place this. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I have placed the cyclic assembler at the end of this line of machines, and I did that because you need 4 sides of the machine to supply all the stuff we're going to need. We need a precision export bus to put things into it, an import bus to take things out of it, we need to supply it with fluid, we're going to put water in it, and we need power, which is underneath of it. So I didn't want to interfere with the rest of the setup, and I didn't like the way it was looking when it was over here, so we put it at the end. So, in the configuration, the top is input, that's the export bus, the left is export, that's the import bus, and the back is input, that's the water pipe from the aqueous accumulator's fluid duct. So, now we need to work on the schematic. You put the schematic in here, and if you want to tell it to use water or the liquid source, you put water in here. But you can see the bucket just flew through there. So there's a small problem, and there is an issue either with thermal expansion or NEI, I don't know which one, but you need to disable NEI while you make the schematic. So, you make that, there you go. I can put water in there, And let's see here. What does it require? There's a problem. I don't know what it requires. How do you make a 10K coolant cell? I think it's 10 cans. It is 10 plates. Let me go see if we have any 10 plates, and I'll put them into the pattern. We should only need one because we only need to make this pattern once. 10 plates. Nope. Alright. If I got some tin, could we make some 10 plates? Metal former. Yes, this thing will make 10 plates with 10 ingots. So there we are. So I go back to this. Options for NEI, turn NEI back off. And our schematic is going to be water with 10 plates. And you can see it's a ghost pattern. We don't have to put the items in there. That'll make a 10K coolant cell. Hit the checkbox, and we now are putting stuff in here for the schematic. The schematic knows what to build now. So if it had 10 plates and it had water, which it doesn't need a water bucket, it just needs a water source. I'm pretty sure we can use this bucket from forestry, but we'll find out in a minute. Let me go, I think I'm going to put 3 pieces of tin in there, so I think I may need one more just to show you that it actually works. Yep, I'm going to need one more. And we may actually need a 5th side. I'll put that in the right metal former. We might actually need a 5th side for... sorry. In fact, yeah, we're going to need a 5th side because we need somewhere to put the ME interface. Oh, you know what? I didn't need an export bus. I needed an interface. That is the problem. But let's see, we put 10 in here, and there we go. It made us a coolant cell. That's pretty good. So let me take that precision export bus off there. That was a mistake, sorry. We need an ME interface, and I already have one, I think. Yep. Although now that I made that, I need 4 more tin plates. Sorry, 4 more tin ingots, because the interface is going to require a pattern. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and that makes a coolant cell. I'm pretty sure the pattern won't matter because the ME interface is just going to throw things in here. But let's find out. I will put that in there. And we already have the import bus. So I should be able to ask it to craft 10K coolant cells now. I'll put the 10 back in the network. Alright, let's see if it can craft a 10K coolant cell. It says it's currently crafting. It should have been getting 10 plates. You know what? Did I encode that pattern with 10 plates or just 10? Okay. You can't put the wrong thing in there or it will not work. So, that's never going to work. Let's go back to our crafting monitor and cancel that. Do we have 10 plates? No. So, I need, let's make 4 of those tin plates. And when it has one in the network, we will go fix our pattern. Alright. Try this again. So, here's our pattern that makes no sense. Shift-click that and erase that. As I told you, you can make any pattern you want, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Okay, so 4 tin plates makes a coolant cell. You don't need the water source because it's going to supply the water itself in the cyclic assembler, and it already has the pattern. I could probably just put 4 tin plates on the left side and it wouldn't matter. So, alright, now we should be able to make coolant cells. So I'm going to craft 1 coolant cell. It's going to make a tin plate because I stole one. It makes the tin plate, it gets it back in the network, and it's not crafting it anymore, so there we are, a coolant cell. We can now make coolant cells as many as we want. And that is the only thing the autocratic system couldn't make to supply our overclocker building process. So, do I know how to build overclockers? I don't. Let's see here. I'm going to go back into options and turn NEI back on. Okay, so now I'm going to go off camera and make some overclockers. I think I'd like to put as many as we could possibly do in these machines. I'm not sure how many that is. I'm going to have to grab the overclockers and make some tests. So right now, all these machines can only accept 32 EUs per tick. And I actually want to show you one more thing. I actually made a terrible mistake over here that I want to show you. I told you that this copper cable would only carry 128 EUs per tick, and the MFE is outputting 512 EUs per tick, but it actually wouldn't because the copper cable only carried 128. That's not the case. In actuality, it is carrying 512 EUs per tick, and this cable should melt. But just like the exploding machines, it doesn't melt right now because they haven't turned that on in the Industrial Craft beta. So we actually need to replace this cable. I'm actually going to make some high voltage cable. It's pretty cheap, it's just iron, and our machines already know how to make it. So I'm going to go replace our cable with iron cable, which is high voltage cable. And once we do that, there won't be any problems with the cable. But remember, our machines are still only going to take as much power as they can take. So the max power, 32 EUs per tick, that's still how much power they can use. So that one I did test. So I'm going to find out how much power. Did I get all the overclockers? I did. So let's see here. Could we put 5 overclockers? No, that would require 105 EUs per tick. How about 3? Nope, that's still over. So for these metal formers, we can only do 2 overclockers. I think for everything else, though, we can do 5. Yeah, the furnace at 5 is 31 EUs per tick. And the macerator at 5 should be 20-something, 21. If we go with 6, it would be 34 EUs per tick. That actually might be okay. It might not drain its internal buffer too much at that, because it would only actually use the 32 EUs per tick, I'm pretty sure. Well, okay, I don't really know. But we might try 6 overclockers in the compressor and the macerator, 5 in the furnace, and 2 in the metal formers, and see where we get. So I'll be back after I have changed the cable and overclocked our machines, and we can see how much faster our system is when we have that in place. Okay, I'm back. I fixed the power, so now we have high voltage cable going from our MFE back to all of our machines, and there is now a transformer on the induction furnace too, but it's an MV transformer. So the LV transformers, let me make sure of that real quick. Okay, actually I still have the setup wrong because the LV transformers are only supposed to take in 128 EUs per tick. I actually need an MV transformer and then an LV transformer on those. So I haven't fixed the power, but we will. But the transformers are getting a bit annoying, so we're going to make something else to deal with them. We're actually going to make transformer upgrades. And with transformer upgrades, I can put 512 EUs into all of these machines. Now, induction furnaces don't take any kind of transformers, so I'll still need the upgrades. So I'll still need the transformer, the MV transformer for this, but everything else should be fine. So we are now delivering more power to our AE system as well. So let's check the yeah, there's no problem with the MFE. So I've put 2 of the overclockers in each of the metal formers. It runs a bit faster, but once we get these transformer upgrades in them, we're going to be able to pull a lot more power into the system. So that will help out even more. So you can see it runs a bit faster with 2 than with 1. So it's going, it's making some overclockers for us. Let's see here, it's made 3 more, which I'm going to put into the furnace. And it's working on 13 more. But you can see it can make the coolant cell and the tin plates, and it's fine, it's going to work. So the next thing we want to work on are these transformer upgrades, which require insulated gold cable, MV transformers, electronic circuits, and glass. Not very expensive, really, so we would like to have 5 of those. Alright. I'll come back once the overclockers are finished and work on that. Okay, I'm back. So we went ahead and made the overclockers for all the machines, and they can now use close to their 32 EUs per tick max power they can take. But if we get them some transformer upgrades, they'll be able to use 512 EUs per tick, and we'll be able to put even more overclockers in them and make our system even faster. So the transformer upgrades require glass, electronic circuits, insulated gold cable, and MV transformers. So I think I've already made enough stuff to do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. Put the transformer upgrade in there. Okay, their max power is now 512 EUs per tick. So, if I wanted to make cables faster, I could shuffle the overclockers around a little bit. How many do we have? So we could put 8 in there and 8 in there. The power use is now 429 EUs per tick. Now that's probably going to overwhelm our stored buffer, especially with these LV transformers. In fact, with the LV transformers, it's pretty much guaranteed to do that. So let me go ahead and get rid of those. Alright. Go back downstairs and get my cable back. Okay. Now our MFE is outputting power at 512 EUs per tick. So we shouldn't have any problem with power in this system now. Or at least we won't be insufficiently powered anymore. Okay, so let's see what... Oh, I don't like that. Gonna have to change that, but I'll do that later. Alright, so let's say we wanted to make a low voltage solar array, which requires, or let's make some circuits. I know we'll need some of those. So let's make 5 circuits, which require copper cables. So what is it trying to make? Oh, we're out of rubber. That's a problem. Alright, bad example. Let's cancel that. Let's just try to make the cables it would need. Each one of those requires 6 copper cables. So we need 24 uninsulated copper cables, or 22 more. So it's going to go over here. What's going to happen? Well, actually, it's going to do just fine. In fact, it's instant because it has enough power to supply that as long as only one machine is running. We've got 512 EUs per tick running along that cable. It's only using 429. As long as it's the only one running, we are just fine here. Same thing for this one. Now, what would happen if we ran them both at the same time? That's going to cause a problem. So, there is another upgrade we can make to help with those kind of things. They are power upgrades? Let me double check that. Energy storage upgrades. Energy storage upgrades are pretty cheap. Copper cables, which I can't make right now because I have no rubber. Electronic circuits, which I need more copper cables to make. Let's see here. And oak wood planks. Okay, so we're going to need some other machine that can help us get rubber. So we had our rubber farm going, and I haven't planted any more rubber trees in a long time there. It's been using just the wood, the oak wood, so we can have that. And that's fine, but I don't want to keep planting the rubber wood trees, at least not right now. We got a bunch of that raw rubber, which we can turn into rubber bars, but we can also take the rubber wood and extract rubber out of that using an extractor. So let's build an extractor instead. Need 4 tree taps, electronic circuit, and a basic machine casing. Okay. Gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna get enough rubber. I'm gonna have to go plant a rubber tree to get the rubber, to build the machine to get more rubber. Okay, let me go get some more rubber. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna have to break up this video. I've already done all of the stuff I wanted to do, but the video went into about 36 minutes, which is just too long for any of my videos. I don't want it to be that long, so I'm gonna split this up. Next time we will make the extractor and show you the energy storage upgrades and making the system much, much faster. You can see we've got everything running pretty well over here, and I'll show you how we finished all that next time.